Vice Chair, do we have a motion to approve the minutes
I'll make a
from
motion.
last time? Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We have one item, I believe, today. And Zach, oh, wow. You're not Zach.
I am not switching it up on y'all today. Good afternoon, committee. Emily Hayes. I'll be presenting this conditional use application today. So Harris Butt is petitioning for that conditional use approval to operate a lounge at 1755 Skyland Boulevard East, Zoned B in Council District 7. So here's a view of that property. This is over by Walmart. Walmart is just to the west of this. There's a beauty supply store just west of this as well. And then this is in the BN zoning district, our neighborhood commercial with some multifamily just to the east. And there is a view of those nearby businesses just to give you a little bit more of where exactly this is. You want to see that?
Excuse me, can you back that up?
Yes. So that the America's Thrift Store. So this is essentially, if you're looking at it from Skyland, it's the farthest space.
The red one?
The red one, correct.
What, was there a Mexican restaurant?
There was,
It's still the same. It's the same Mexican
yeah,
restaurant.
I'm sorry.
it's the same Mexican restaurant that's been in there. So essentially with this, they're going to still operate as the Mexican restaurant, still serve food the entire time. They are wanting to change their alcohol license to a lounge retail liquor license. So that's why it's here before you today.
So operating hours, what was that? No, I hadn't talked to anybody about that.
So I'll get to that. So essentially the hours of operation, Sunday through Wednesday are all going to be 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Thursday is 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. Friday, 11 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. So part of this is going to be extending their hours of operation as well.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be in favor for another
I'm
bar in my
afraid we
district.
got a lot of potential crime in that area.
Well, it's just, my district been swamped,
Yeah.
bars and lounges, and I'm not gonna be in favor for it. You spoke with the chief on that? What?
Yeah, I'll give my recommendation.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead. I know, I'm cutting you off. Go ahead.
It's okay. So there aren't any bars within a half-mile radius of this. I will say, they stated on their application their occupancy is between 150 and 200. Fire has confirmed it's 150.
Okay.
They did submit a risk assessment, public safety plan, as well as their plan to reduce possible nuisances. It was pretty lengthy, so we kind of summarized as staff the points that were really specific to this application today. The items that they put in those summaries were really far above what they really needed. They didn't really have a general guide of where exactly they should go, so they just kind of did all of it. So we took what they really, the most important things, and summarized it into this. They talked about identifying potential fire and trip hazards, their emergency procedures. They're going to have regular fire drills. They'll train staff on basic first aid and CPR and create and display an evacuation plan. Their security measures are including training staff on the proper way to handle conflicts and unruly behavior. They're going to hire trained security staff, scanning IDs, using wristbands and stamps for entry, and installing cameras in key areas, as well as having metal detectors. They plan to train their staff on responsible alcohol serving practices, having policies in place to handle intoxicated patrons, and a designated driver program is what they mentioned as well. For their just general overall safety, they talked about training staff on proper emergency management procedures and emergency lighting and safety. Their plan to reduce possible nuisance. Do you have some questions? Do you want me to go through this?
I'm with Mr. Mayor. I'm just curious what the chief has to say about it.
I won't keep going if you want to just hear from the
Emily,
chief.
what's the current type of license?
So the current license is a restaurant liquor license. That's what is standard for all restaurants to have if they do serve liquor.
Appreciate it. I ain't gonna work you past time.
Good evening, council. PD's against this. Our whole thing is we've got enough bars in Tuscaloosa. This is going to turn into a bar. You can tell by the hours of operation. If you're going to be a restaurant, be a restaurant. If you're going to be a bar, be a bar. The morphine has caused a lot of problems. Like I said, we just had one that surrendered their business license as a problem bar. We believe, by their hours of operation, we don't have any problems over there right now. They run a clean business right now and that kind of stuff. But our whole thing is we don't want to start having problems. The parking lot is huge. It's got very bad lighting. At some point, the city's got to say, and this is, like I said, this is y'all's job to decide, but our recommendation is how many bars do you need in this town? It depletes our resources. We're already running when the existing bars let out. We're running from parking lot to parking lot to parking lot, clearing everybody out. This is going to add another parking lot and more people that are out at this time.
Yeah.
So, like I said, PD, we are not in favor of this, and we won't be in favor of any new bars. It's just, I think we've hit a point that we've tapped our resources, and by adding more, it just isn't a good thing for us. So I'll answer any questions y'all have.
I just wanted to know your thoughts on it, Chief. That's my thoughts. I'm not interested in bringing another bar in my district. We just got some license surrender that needed to be, in my opinion, and so I'm gonna be against this totally. That's just me. I hadn't spoken with anybody previous to this, so I hadn't even had an opportunity to discuss the possibilities with the owners, and so. But I can tell you right now, I don't want it in my district. I don't even want to vote it out of committee.
Yes, sir.
So I take it do I have a motion to go further with anybody? Okay, well, without a motion, that's gonna die.
And
Anything else? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, just for some clarification, because I know this is a relatively new process
That's
of how
right.
alcohol licenses come through.
It's gonna
committee
have
first.
to go to council
It-
with a recommendation.
It will go to council, and we'll let you know that it
Yeah,
did
the
receive
recommendation
did receive a
is,
vote out of public
Yeah.
safety or out of admin, whichever way I'm going. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But it will have to be voted on by the full council
Sure.
next week, so it'll
Okay.
still appear on council.
And just to clarify a little bit further, so this is a conditional use permit approval that you guys are looking at. The alcohol license piece will come after this. So they need to get approval for their conditional use permit in order to even approve the alcohol change. So this really isn't the alcohol approval, this is the conditional use approval. So what that means is they don't technically have to do that.
Oh, he's correct.
I'm sorry, I got myself.
No, he's
confused.
correct, that's true.
And I may be explaining something that doesn't need explaining. You may recall
Please do.
when a couple years ago, this council decided that every lounge license was going to require a conditional use, every bar tavern. And so that's one step that has to come through council. Then the alcohol license does as well. When we started seeing them, they were coming either kind of in backwards order or together, which was kind of putting y'all in a rough spot and putting our businesses in a rough spot. And so what we don't want to do is give an alcohol license and then not approve their zoning designation. So we're getting them to apply for the proper zoning first. Obviously, if they can't get the proper zoning, then we won't even process their alcohol license. So that we're at the zoning portion now, and so the zoning portion does not have to go before the full council.
Doesn't have to, it doesn't reach out.
So we can,
So no motion, it dies here.
it dies here.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a quick before.
Sure.
Is there any progress that's been made? This is related to, but not, any progress that's been made towards us, the council, being able to enforce via accounting and finance the revenues generated by a restaurant versus a bar?
How do you mean? I guess I'll let that
Yeah,
turn over to Miss
yeah,
Standridge,
let's
since that's
go-
her department.
Let's
Well, it
deep dive
was
on
a
that.
legal matter, I thought.
Well, so our enforcement arm, we have an enforcement arm within accounting and finance in our revenue code enforcement division that does, audits and code enforcement for revenue policy.
But there's no line drawn for you to enforce that says if you're a restaurant, but 90% of your revenues is coming from alcohol sales and only 10% for food sales, you're not really a restaurant.
Oh, no, that,
Mr. Holmes, we've had this discussion, and I I don't wanna,
Yeah,
I swear, less than 5
I would
minutes.
say that, yeah, so the idea of revenue, this is not a revenue collection or a revenue code enforcement scenario, because all of the revenue that would come in via either food sales or alcohol sales are going to be met regardless of whether or not you're classified as a restaurant or a bar. The tax rate is the same no matter what you're classified as an operating entity, because you pay taxes based off of just your gross receipts of what you sell. So,
Okay, from an enforcement.
From-
Scott, is there,
From ABC, so this will be kind of a.
and by the way, this is not relevant to this group. I'm asking
Sure.
because we're on the bigger topic.
Sure.
That's particularly pronounced in my district.
And so there are a combination of issues there. One is the ABC board. ABC board regulations say if you're a restaurant license, then your alcohol sales are in support of your food sales, but you have to predominantly do food. There's no more than 50%. There's no like
Oh,
hard,
so that already exists.
that doesn't exist.
Okay.
Now it's in an example where you're talking about 60-40, you may have a nice restaurant that sells really expensive bottles of wine and ends up doing 60-40 in alcohol. When you're talking about 90-10, I think you're really looking at a bar, and that's where that's what falls. So there's the ABC side, and then there's our side over here with our zoning folks, and that's where they look at things. They look at menu, they look at hours of service, they look at whether or not you exclude patrons under a certain age, whether or not you charge a cover, just generally how you operate to determine, hey, you're a bar, hey, you're a restaurant.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Well,
you.
I just want to comment to y'all here, you've got a great restaurant. I've eaten there. It's just that I don't think I will not vote for any more bars in Tuscaloosa at those hours. That's just the way. And if you'd like to say, you act like you want to speak to it, but if you want to, sure. And this is not personal. Please don't take it that way.
Okay, hello everybody. Okay, my thing is, we have a live music. That's why I need a lounge license, because restaurant license. So, restaurant license, we cannot move our table and chairs. So
Right.
last whole year, we already run this place, restaurant license, and we're pretty good. We don't have any problems over there. We don't have any incident over there. So my thing is, if we're not doing a nightclub, we're doing like a live music, like a Mexican live music.
Well, the problem is we've been through this before with other establishments, and with those hours and with alcohol involved after midnight, 1:30 in the morning, you're talking about 2:30 in the morning, it just, we've been burned before, and I frankly can't be for this. I'm sorry. So again, it's nothing personal.
You're right, but same thing. I'm telling you, like 5 fingers are not equal, right? So you tell me somebody else doing, and maybe I'm not doing that thing, right?
Well,
And we put some security over there. Same thing she said, like we put some, like, I know the lounge license is very hard. So right now we need to put some securities on too. And I know if I'm doing some mistake, I lose my license, right? So at least give me one chance.
thank you.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Anything else? If we don't have anything else coming before this committee, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.